Hello, and welcome to the I Love You But podcast. I'm Heather, and this is my sister,
Rian. Each week, we will revisit relics of our childhoods using our multiple master's degrees
to critically evaluate the crap that consumed our misspent youth, so join us.
Sisters, latchkey kids, cuspers, and lazy feminists as we look back at our past to say, I love you, but...
How'd you waste time this week, Ryan?
This week, I wasted time by playing apples to apples with right-wing fundamentalist Christians.
Why?
Why did I do that, or why was it a waste of my time?
I know why it was a waste of your time. Why did you do that?
I was very tired and probably not thinking. So obviously this is Ben's family and their friends.
I don't know if that's obvious to anyone, but okay.
Well, okay, to anyone who might know me and be like, why were you spending time with right-wing fundamentalist Christians? It would be because I was forced to attend a familial social gathering. So we had birthday party and dinner, and then it was like, let's play apples to apples, and everything had been going very well. You know, we were all on our best behavior of not talking about anything that could upset anyone.
Sure.
So they tricked me. And then we played apples to apples, and, you know, there was things like, you know, and if you've never played apples to apples, it's basically a kid's version of Cards Against Humanity, which I think actually existed before Cards Against Humanity, but...
Probably, yes.
Yeah, I'm almost positive, so, you know. But I did not win any of the rounds. No one thought any of mine were funny.
Were the most funny?
Were the most funny. And people got kind of upset or very verbally confused by some of my choices. Like when I said that Ernest Hemingway was clueless.
So funny.
Yeah. There was like a couple others. But then, you know, some of the ones that got me had me biting my tongue to some degree and making like wide-eyed big eyes at Ben. Were like, for Clueless, someone played the Pentagon, and then they had to talk about how they don't think how they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then the like 16-year-old was like, no, with Biden running the country. So I was like, oh yeah, please tell me how much you know about politics, child. And so, but I didn't say any of that. I said nothing, you know. And then one was like, absurd. The word was absurd. And then it was like Democrats. And I think there was like a couple others. And I was just like, oh, and risky. The first one was risky. Like the very first we start, and I should have known, and I should have been like, you know what? Actually, it's so late. I got to go. But part of me was like, you know what? I want to see where this goes. Because the word was risky. And the patriarch of their family played the card, a crystal ball. To her credit, Martha, because I know she'll never listen to this, was like, well, how are crystal balls risky? Because she was well into her vodka cups.
I'm sure.
And they were like, witchcraft, duh.
Witches don't use crystal balls.
The tools of Satan. I don't know. It's just like, I can't even.
I don't. First of all, apples to apples, take everything about the government, religion, and politics out of your game, period.
Oh,
like,
I know.
No one in this country is adults enough to handle that, even the children. Like, take it out.
Like, I had the card, one of my cards said, going to church.
Yeah.
And so on the first thing where it's like risky, I just kept like showing Ben this card all these times. Absurd. Did I play it? No. Because I understand.
Yes, the social contract.
The social contract. And I bow my head and hold their hands and all of that. So when we have to say our prayer about people existing before the universe ever existed because of God's plan, I'm like, oh my God. It must be exhausting to be their God. Like, absolutely exhausting.
I feel like that's when, you know, that's the version of God that was like, oh, look at my science project. It's called Earth. And then like, oh, I'm bored, and, you know, put it in the closet and walk away. That's like,
yeah.
I'm going to go build a better project. That was practice. Oh yeah. Well, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm so glad that I'm single and I don't have to do shit like that. Let's see.
How did you waste time this week?
How did I waste time this week? Well, I got some recommendations for wasting time when I had lunch with my friend Bill, who I haven't seen in literal years at this point. So I'm going to be wasting my time rewatching the movie Strange Days from the late 90s. It's like a proto Matrix, and I think I saw it. Ralph Fiennes is the lead. I remember when I saw it, there's this scene where he's in like a glass elevator and he like puts his hand against the walls of the elevator, and it's like long shot, and it's like this really powerful thing that was so completely out of context with the rest of the movie that I was like, why is this shot here? Like, this is better than everything else that's going on. But Bill recommended that I see it. Of course, Bill was working under the assumption that I'm a Matrix fan, which is not an accurate statement.
I guess it's been a really long time because he completely forgot who you are as a person.
I mean, I'm not a fan, but he thinks I'm a fan because I really like Sense8.
Oh, okay.
The Wachowskis did, but I really like Sense8 for reasons that have nothing to do, I mean, a little bit to do with sci-fi, but a whole lot to do with sexy people touching each other. So,
yeah.
Which, as far as I know, in The Matrix is not a thing. So,
not really, no.
I don't really want to find out. And if I want to watch Keanu Reeves be dumb in a sci-fi, I'm just going to watch Johnny Mnemonic because it's one of my favorite worst movies ever. So I'll be rewatching that. And then he convinced me that I should try to watch the latest season of Black Mirror, which I have watched 4 episodes of Black Mirror, the first 4 episodes of Black Mirror, because people keep telling me how good it is and that it gets less disturbing as it goes along.
I don't buy it.
Every single episode, some of them more disturbing than others. So that's not like they're decreasing in a straight line. And I can't handle it. Like it is.
Yeah.
I think other people have like a suspension of disbelief where they don't really understand how terrible human beings are.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
So they're like, but it's not really real. And I'm like,
yes.
All of this is the most realistic shit I've ever seen.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
We are all disgusting monsters walking around with these insane imaginations and love to torture each other. Like, no, thank you.
Yes, because we all have so much fucking free time on our hands.
Evidently, most people don't like the latest season, and Bill thinks he has a theory about it, and he thinks it's because you actually have to, it requires you to think about it conceptually, not just to consume it.
Oh, it's a think piece.
It's a think piece. And so, of course, in that sense, he thinks that I would thereby enjoy it. So I'm going to try to watch that at some point.
Like, the thought of watching that makes me physically ill. Because it's so disturbing.
I'm gonna give it 2 episodes, and if it makes my my heart hurt, then I'm gonna stop it and just like.
Because I saw I've only watched 2 episodes ever, and one was okay. Both of them were probably before I had Elliot.
Yeah.
And obviously since then I'm just broken and I can't watch anything.
Yeah.
And one was okay, it wasn't super disturbing, but it was super tragic, right?
Oh yeah, which is disturbing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's yay, and then just the absolute most tragic, oh my god.
And then he's going to watch Phantom Thread, and I'm going to watch Licorice Pizza, so we can talk about Paul Thomas Anderson movies together that neither of us had seen yet. So that'll be fun. Something I'm looking forward to wasting time on.
Sounds great.
That'll be good.
I am watching the new season of Lincoln Lawyer, so I guess I could say I've wasted some time on that. Mostly today.
I did. I watched that first episode today, and then I did editing our podcast. So
yeah, I started the first episode last night, and then I was like, I'm very tired. And
that dude has crazy eyes.
What?
Tattoo guy.
Oh,
has the craziest eyes.
You meant Mickey. I was like, I don't. Okay. He's
No,
a very, yeah, they did a thing, because I was like, oh, get him out of jail, poor little nerdy economist, they took my inhaler.
He pulled an Edward Norton in Primal Fear, or
Or something.
Kevin Spacey and
Usual Suspects.
Where tricking you.
It was, and it was well done. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Spoilers, which I know we're supposed to
Oh,
say.
but it's the first episode, so too bad.
No, well, it kind of is, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it is, because I started it last night and finished it. Time has lost all meaning for me. I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. Which
You need to go back to teaching.
I do. I need to go back to work. Like, the fact that I have to go sit in a workshop all day tomorrow is going to be so fucking painful. Oh my God.
Sorry.
It would have been painful anytime, but I think it's going to be more painful because I haven't had to do it in a month and a half. So
yeah.
But whatever. I get paid, so woohoo.
Woohoo! Money, money, money.
All right. So this week we watched the 1988 movie. I don't know. I think it was popular. I didn't look that part up.
Yes, it was very popular.
Yes. Mike Nolan's Working Girl, starring Mike Nichols. There's a director whose name is Nolan, right?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not, insane.
No.
Mike Nichols. This week we watched Working Girl, directed by Mike Nichols, and starring in her only well-received role, Melanie Griffith. So, Heather, what do you remember about Working Girl? This is how we do this. Is this how we do this?
That's how we do this.
Is it? Okay, and then I do the thing. Yeah.
I remember Dickhead Boyfriend, Birthday Lingerie, Elevator Showdown, Sigourney Weaver with a broken leg, and how she got the idea. And I feel like, sneakers, that's what I wrote, that they all, went to work in sneakers and then changed into heels.
Yeah.
I double underlined how she got the idea because I think that there's just a part of me that always knew I was going to have a job. And so anytime there was a woman working a job and then she did a thing and they talk about the process of how she got there, that was it would just stick in my brain. So in Working Girl, it was how she got the idea to have the company try to take over the radio, whatever. And then in Growing Pains, there's an episode where Tracy Gold's character gets a job and she's doing data entry. But as she's doing data entry, she's noticed that there's a problem. And she goes to her boss and he's like, that's not your job. You're just supposed to type. And she's like, okay. So she goes back and she types and she's like, no, dude, seriously, this is a problem. And then he gets all excited because he realizes that another department has made a mistake. So she gets a promotion and all this stuff. So if it's a chicken and egg situation, I think that the same way that you kind of felt compelled by movies and television to behave in this very specific type of pretty woman way,
yeah,
I felt compelled by movies and television to behave in this very sort of smart professional woman way, where I was
yes,
go in there and be a badass.
But you were successful in doing that, whereas I was not successful in being pretty and girly.
Well, I mean, I think that sometimes a lot of people have a really hard time understanding who they are at their core.
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever really had that problem. So I think if there were any part of me that was going to be I'm going to be a girly girl, I would have tried hard to be a girly girl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But I kind of knew that wasn't
going to
be my thing, and I was never I'm going to be a dancer. No, I mean, I like dancing, but I'm terrible at it. But, I just always kind of, because I was good at school. Right. And so when you're good at school's a lot like work. And so it's oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy. I can do that. So anyway, that's what I remember about Working Girl.
This is going to be the longest episode ever. Okay. I remembered the shoe changing.
Yeah.
I wrote Harrison Ford, Sigourney Weaver, fairy, shoulder pads.
Oh.
And vacuuming topless. Who does that? Who cleans the house naked? Nobody fucking does that unless you're on OnlyFans.
I I wrote, what does vacuuming topless solve? What problem does it solve?
I
didn't remember that. I do remember the lingerie and the boyfriend and all that, and I was like, oh, what an asshole. Like,
yeah. Okay, so Working Girl is a movie.
Good job.
Yeah, so Tess is a secretary who lives in Staten Island and takes the ferry into the city. And so she works for a company called Trask Industries, but she is very motivated to do better. She got her degree going to night school. She takes speech classes so she doesn't talk like she's from Staten Island. And she's very motivated to move up. She ends up working for a transfer, Catherine, Sigourney Weaver's character. So she becomes the secretary for Sigourney Weaver's character, Catherine, who is, big boss lady, and comes to her with an idea. Sigourney Weaver steals the idea. Tess ends up kind of... Can I start again? No.
Too long,
Sigourney Weaver goes on vacation and breaks her leg, and so Tess steps in and pretends to be something more than the secretary and kind of pitches. Then she realizes that she has taken her idea, and so she runs with the idea and ends up meeting Harrison Ford's character,
who, much like this description, doesn't come into the thing until way too late. Oh my God. Working Girl is a modern-day Cinderella story set in contemporary Manhattan, where
can
a
you
woman
just do this from now on?
You got mad when I did them before.
Okay, well, you're doing better at them now, so I think you should just keep doing them. I think you should just, we recognize our strengths, and you should do what you're good at, and I should do what I'm good at, which is the least amount of work possible.
Oh my God. I don't know. All of it stays in. I'm just going to speed it up. There were certain things that I did not know because, there was the time when I just consumed movies and the time as I became a teenager and older where I knew about movies, right? Like I was interested in movies.
Uh-huh.
So watching this as a child, because I would have been 10 when it came out, had no idea that it was amazing that Mike Nichols was the director. And that's probably a part of why this movie is good.
This is a really good movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, this is probably, other than Death Set, so, like, I'm trying to think of all the movies we watched. But yeah, this one was one of the least painful, and it wasn't at all painful to watch.
Because every time it got cringy, they acknowledged the cringe.
Yes.
Every time somebody acted like an asshole, it was completely acknowledged, if not immediately corrected, which was even better.
Yeah.
So Mike Nichols he started out in improv. Then he did theater. He and Elaine May got very, very famous for their comedy work together, which I'm kind of saving for my retirement. And I hope it's still funny and I'm not too old and broken by then. He directed.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're going to start doing improv after you retire?
No, I'm going to listen to old recordings of Mike Nichols and Elaine May. I've never sought them out.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Granny Improv. I can't wait. Tuesdays, shuffleboard. Wednesday, water aerobics. Thursday, improv.
Geriatric Improv.
And every skit has to be less than 2 minutes because everyone will forget why they were there. There will be no long form improv.
It's only short form. Only short form.
So if you don't know Mike Nichols, he's an amazing director. The first film he directed was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So bang, right out of the gate. Right?
Bang.
He directed The Graduate.
Mm.
He directed The Birdcage. He directed Closer, a movie that I love very much. He directed Angels in America for HBO, and he directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Postcards from the Edge, and Silkwood, and a bunch of other stuff. And if you think about a lot of those movies, they have strong women as main characters or disenfranchised people as main characters. So that was when, as soon as I saw his name, I was like, well, this is only going to be so terrible.
It's really interesting. And then it was good.
I saw Joan Cusack's name in the titles, and I was like, oh, it's going to be even less
There's
terrible.
so many people in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many people in this movie. I mean, you've got Joan Cusack, you've got Kevin Spacey showing up, Alec Baldwin, Oliver Platt, fucking Ricky Lake.
Yeah, Ricky Lake.
And apparently David Duchovny's like somewhere in the background of a couple scenes.
Yep.
I didn't see that. I just read about it. So that was funny. It's really interesting that you said he directed Postcards from the Edge, because when I was kind of like looking up things about the movie, so apparently Melanie Griffin had really bad time with drug and alcohol use while filming this.
Yes, she did.
Which she has been publicly, but apparently she, like, her and Alec Baldwin, like, partied one night and showed up still drunk super late. And so Mike Nichols fined her $80,000 for lost production time, and then they, like, kept a nurse on set to, like, check her sobriety. And then I think she ended up, like, checking into rehab either during the filming or, like, after the filming or something. And so it really made me think of Postcards from the Edge, because, you know, that was, like, kind of that plot there. So that was interesting. I wonder if that influenced him.
Well, no, because so you know, Postcards from the Edge is based on Carrie Fisher's autobiography, right?
Yeah. No, I know, but still.
Also, in his biography or autobiography, apparently at the same time, he was also abusing cocaine. So,
well, it was just everyone was bumping it up.
Not everyone, but definitely those two, and Alec Baldwin, not surprising at all.
So they were Alec Baldwin really wanted to play the Harrison Ford's character, and they wanted him, but the producers said they wouldn't. They didn't want to do a movie with two unknowns as the leads.
Right, which is how Harrison Ford and Sigourney Weaver got top billing over
Melanie Griffin, the star of the movie.
Character.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was the only role that ever she received praise for, which is sad, I guess. So, but
yeah,
I loved that it was like the Statue of Liberty opening.
Yeah,
it's like, well, this isn't subtle at all, because it was like a very long opening of the Statue of Liberty. So one, it's like, okay, we're set in New York. Number two, strong woman. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And American Dream.
Yes, yeah. Right, yeah. No, for sure.
And her literal commute to get to work every day. Because Staten Island Ferry and then other stuff, that's a long ass commute. Like,
I know, like when Joe was like, did you make a wish? I was like, yeah, she made a wish to get the fuck off that ferry. I wish to get my ass off this crowded fucking ferry.
I do like that within the first 5 minutes of dialogue of the film, it already passes the Bechdel test. Like that was refreshing. That was really nice.
So much hair. Like
hair.
At no point in the movie did I ever stop going, good God, like so much hair. It was so big and so long and so, oh my God, so much hair. And so much eye makeup. Joan Cusack's fucking green, half black, all the way to her eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they sleep between the commute and doing the hair? I mean, that's hours right there. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know, but I do know that today, Dad.
Olympia Dukakis. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. She was great.
Sorry, Dad.
So Dad had a really rough time today, and at one point his blood pressure was super, super high. So we called the emergency line for hospice, and they sent a nurse over because he also hadn't had a bowel movement in 5 days. If I have to know, you have to know, listeners. Deal with it. And she shows up and she's like, oh yeah, sorry, I just sorry my hair's up, you know, I just got out of the shower, it's been a really busy weekend on call, and it takes me an hour to do my hair. I was just like,
Did she have a lot of it? Was she like fucking
No.
Blake Lively or something?
no.
Like-
I'm like, why do you ever? I mean, I didn't ask her, but I'm like, why would you ever do your hair if it takes an hour? Like, are you going to the Oscars? Like, are you getting a Kennedy Center
hour?
honor? Like, what reason do you have to spend an hour? And again, if that's what you do with your day, that's awesome. I love you so much. I pray for you.
Do you, girl? Do you?
Yeah, but damn.
Do you do other things while you're doing your hair? Like, do you have severe ADHD and so you get distracted? Do you
I don't
air
know.
dry it and that's like the majority of the process?
I don't know. I was really confused. Or maybe she just says that everywhere she goes. Maybe I should start doing that. Like, oh, I just didn't have time. But I mean, people know that because I show up with wet hair because I don't even bother to dry it. So I would like to say a couple of things starting with the beginning. The switchboard that is on her desk at the beginning of the movie gives me so much anxiety. Did you see how many lines were on the switchboard?
I did see that.
I was like having a moment. And then I would just like to say, I don't know if you know that Kevin Spacey has been canceled. He has.
Yes, I didn't.
But I would like to say that Kevin Spacey kind of told us exactly who he was.
In that scene?
Drinking champagne and watching porn in a limo.
Yeah, and doing coke.
And doing coke. Like, he told us. We didn't listen. He told us.
Yeah, I did read
That's
that he was not originally cast in that role, but was cast like last minute and was given the script to read on his way to shoot the scene.
Yeah.
So yes, he's a terrible person, but he did a great job in that scene as that terrible. I guess because he didn't have to act because he was playing himself.
There is no dispute that he has talent acting.
Yes. Moving on.
This movie is lean. Like, they're talking about the party. I have to go to class. What time is the party? Okay, I'll be there. She walks into the apartment. She looks over here. She looks over there. She opens the closet. Surprise, party over. No need to even have a party scene. Next scene, in the bedroom, already mostly in the lingerie. 2 or 3 lines there. Boom, next day. Like, lean. It was so good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, it was...
I did not love the amount of passive aggressiveness that arrived with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I forgot that Melanie Griffith, that Tess had to serve dim sum at that fucking party.
I forgot about that too. It was like all the steam and
letting her makeup off. Ugh.
I'd help you, but
yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't have caterers, but okay.
Yeah, right? I love Sigourney Weaver swinging her leg in that ski boot. That is like a memory in my brain too. From that
with the skirt sitting up on the ledge. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. She just seemed to be having such a good time playing this role, which is so great. Sure. Why not do that? I do feel like without the backstabbing bitch part, Sigourney Weaver was 100% who Katharine Hepburn's character should have been in Dusk Set. Like, as far as romance, where she was like, yeah, we're going to get married. Like, and granted, he wasn't in love with her and all that.
Yeah.
He wasn't waiting around. She's like, no, we're going to go skiing. We're going to get married. It's done. Like, shouldn't have been that, oh, will he ask me to the dance?
That's
like,
true. That's very true. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned the whole, like, American dream thing because, like,
who knew you hated the American dream?
I don't hate the American dream. It's just bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit, right? Because that's, like, the whole point.
She calls it.
Yeah. Like, you don't pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps. Like, you're either born with boots. Yeah.
Right.
I know. She says the thing about rules.
Yeah, that if she said she couldn't get ahead, she had to break them to get anywhere. Yeah.
She said, working my ass off and getting nowhere following rules I didn't set up.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously, she wants to be Sigourney Weaver's character, right? She wants to be Catherine. Well, it's like, okay, well, Catherine grew up with money. She's like, I'm going to my mommy and daddy's place. I'm staying at mommy's house in the city. I went to Wellesley, right? Like, I fucking speak Swiss or whatever. German.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, she's not, it just, with like the recent SCOTUS decision about affirmative action just had me like angry about this. I was already angry, and then this, and like, it's like, this is why
Yeah.
that we have to have these things in place, because it's not a fair system.
No, it's completely unfair.
And then, so like today, I haven't even told you this. Apparently, Reuters did a huge research project of like the 100 most prominent politicians, and went back through their family heritage to see who's had slave owners in their lineage. And so, like, our governor, our senators, like here in the state of Kentucky. And it's just like, how do you like, okay, I'm done. I love it. $6,000? It's not even leather.
That was really good. Now, that happened right when Joan Cusack comes to visit her at Sigourney Weaver's apartment.
Yes.
And I would just like to say, of Sigourney Weaver's apartment, I think that there's a line between self-confidence and narcissism. And when you have Andy Warhol prints of yourself, you have definitely crossed the line.
But that was the 80s. Like, that was such a big thing in the 80s for people to have those. Like, that was like such a wealth marker.
Rich people?
Well, yeah, rich people. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, like, I remember those in movies. Like, I remember like, oh, yeah. Because when I saw that, I was like, yep, she's got the things.
Like, was Patrick Bateman living next door or what? What was going on? I don't know. I don't understand.
I was also thinking of American Psycho. Yeah.
Yeah. The double betrayal, that was a big whammy. That was tough.
Oh, like that, and then the boyfriend. I love that he's like, come back and hit me. Like, and then it'll be over. Like, just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what doesn't pass the Bechdel test?
Like Baldwin.
Yes, but also her best friend trying to get her to give him another chance.
Yeah,
on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice her best friend was like, hey, throw him a bone.
It was realistic, but yes.
I know. No, it was very realistic, and that's for those of you that don't know, you should not mix tequila and Valium.
Just in case.
In case you didn't know that, it's a bad plan.
I love that, like, Harrison Ford just fucking shows up a third of the way through the movie. Like, he's just not even there.
And it gets, in my humble opinion, it gets so much better. I loved him in this.
Yes, he definitely has charm for days.
Yes.
He's got his slanted grin on. He's got that deep voice. And
he's funny.
Even though he is pretty, funny. He's funny. Oh, yes, he's funny. He provides a lot of the actual like wit and humor in the film, for sure. I do think in general he is talking furniture, which is, I believe, how the Russian director Stanislavski described actors. It might be a different Russian director or no Russian director at all. But at some point in the history of cinema, there was a director who called actors talking furniture. And to me, Harrison Ford is talking furniture. But in this case, he was charming.
I was going to say, I mean... I'm funny because I look up and I see IKEA furniture written on this in his apartment.
Yes,
I feel like he's definitely more than talking IKEA furniture. He's at least some like expensive antiques or something, because he has charm and wit. And you know what? I'm just gonna say this: he kept making me think of our friend Herbert.
Oh, okay.
Like, a lot in this movie. Like, I just kept thinking...
Sure. I can see that.
Especially when, like, she got... Like, he had to carry her up the stairs because she was passed out drunk. Because, like, he was so smooth and charming in the bar. Yeah. And then he was like, what do I do with this extremely drunk woman? Like... blah, 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 blah. Like, he got real, like, fumbly and stuff. And then kind of from then on...
Yeah.
So he did remind me.
I think don't fuck up is a great mantra, and I enjoyed
just gonna say I was literally looking at where I wrote "don't fuck up," and I was like, "That is so." I'm pretty sure I say something like that to myself a lot.
Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up.
Yeah,
don't fuck
I
up.
think that's what I have running in my head right now about buying a car. Like, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
Then right after that, I wrote so many white people because there were so many white people in this movie.
Yeah,
Which I'm sure is true to Wall Street at the time, but still, ugh.
yeah.
I liked, so apparently the guy that wrote this, like he was inspired by seeing the women walking to work in their sneakers, like in their business suits, but the sneakers, and that's it. And the fact that he did that and then wrote things where like they say something about get coffee and she immediately stands up to go get the coffee.
Yeah.
Like that muscle memory, like that is just gorgeous. Like that is some nice writing that, you know, did not have to be that good. I also felt like when she goes to Joan Cusack's engagement party and she sees Alec Baldwin there and calls him Snake, which is great.
Yes.
But even in that same conversation, he's like, yeah, I got the loan for the boat or whatever. She's like legitimately happy for him. Like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like in most 80s movies, it would have been like, I hate you forever because you cheated on me and and it's like, you forget, like she must have had some kind of a relationship. She must have loved him in some kind of way.
I know. Like obviously it shows the actual real complexity of relationships.
Yes. Especially when you have your friends circle mixed and all of that. I mean, there were
you have to see the person. You can't just hate them.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And again, everything cringy that happens is remarked upon. The only thing cringy that happens that doesn't get remarked upon is after that party when Melanie Griffith is walking home, some random dude like totally like stares at her. Which again, true to life. But then they make up for it because at the wedding reception that they crash, Harrison Ford totally gets ogled by the women who are like, he's so handsome.
Well, then he gets ogled again when he takes his shirt off in his office and all the women on the behind the window are watching and then they applaud. So that was pretty awesome.
Before that,
I was going to say one thing that I didn't like that didn't get addressed is I'm really glad they didn't have sex. I was like writing down like I really hope they didn't have sex. But there was no need for him to take her dress off because like the most uncomfortable stuff she was wearing was the lingerie. So like taking that dress.
Well, I don't think he could know that looking at the dress.
Yeah, but like I feel like if someone is passed out, you should just let them sleep in their clothes. Like, unless they're wearing a fucking corset or something, like, there was no need for him to remove her dress. I mean, I understand that for the plot point of making her think that they had sex and whatever, but to me, that is that's not okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, it could have been much worse, and in the real world.
In any other 80s movie.
True. This was his first, this was Harrison Ford's first rom-com.
Yeah, that's not a surprising fact. I like the part where they're on the street walking and he gets really angry.
And he's got the food on his mouth while they're eating. Yeah.
But what I like about that is they keep probing into it enough where he actually surfaces that he's feeling insecure.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just thought that's so nice because first of all, you know, men get away with saying they're not emotional because anger doesn't count as an emotion, right? They made the rules and anger doesn't count.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when we're angry, anger is just like a reaction to something else, right? Like it's like, well, I'm bleeding. Okay, well, what cut you? What cut you? Because you're not actually mad about the bleeding. You're mad about getting cut.
Yeah, it's like
so. I liked that.
It's like dealing with my 4-year-old.
Yes, and then of course, Ricky Lake was great, but I also noticed both in the engagement party scene and the wedding reception, there were a lot of what I would call real looking people.
Yes. Yeah.
In like small parts and extras. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Like not everybody was like standard size, standard beauty, you know, like there was a mix.
I love how Harrison Ford just came into the ladies' room. Like, he didn't, there was no namby-pamby, is it empty? Like, he was just there, like, it was just like any other goddamn room. Like that.
I think he was like, okay, I'm following this little chaotic goblin around, so I'm in this. We have crashed this wedding. I will follow her into the ladies' room. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I do worry about Melanie Griffith's O2 levels.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, I think it's a great movie. I approve.
I actually have a problem with the romance.
Okay. Shocking.
And I know you find that fascinating, because I never have a problem with romance. They love each other. Like, enough to say I love you. After like a week or whatever. Like, really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I don't buy that either. That's also.
I mean, I think it's funny that they like go at each other and then like order takeout so they don't have to leave the house and put on clothes. I mean, like, you know, I'm all for that, and like, you know, maybe like I really care about you or some cute little something, but like, I love you, like dropping love, like that was pretty hard and fast. Yeah. I don't know. It just, everything else about it seems so sort of nuanced and complex and complicated. And then that just makes it so tidy. Yeah. I just find it very unrealistic. But, you know.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. That scene at the end with the lunchbox was like, that was the most adorable goddamn thing ever. Like,
the scene at the end with the what?
Here's your milk money and an apple for the teacher.
Oh.
The scene at the end with the lunchbox. Like, oh.
That was really cute. And that would have been one where, like, I love you at that point, I think I would have accepted. It was just like in the hallway or whatever, in the middle of the corporate battle. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, that was, and like that to me, like things like that he did is when he kind of really reminded me of Herbert, you know, like I can see Herbert doing something
very
like
playful, which is definitely a trait that you and I both admire very much.
Yeah.
But for a Barbie
God
movie,
love Ben.
Where is that going?
Oh, I forgot the theme.
You know, we were looking, we were really trying to think of like, what's an 80s movie that's like a Barbie movie, but not a straight up Barbie movie. And, you know, thinking along the lines of Barbie having careers kind of got us to the place of Working Girl. Before that, the one that we had was Pretty in Pink, because Molly Ringwald makes her own costumes and wears pink, and Barbie wears
and, you know, pink.
Yeah. But I feel like the main plot in Pretty in Pink is very much the romance, whereas the romance in Working Girl is very much the subplot, where the main driver is she's this ambitious young woman who wants to get ahead in a corporate world that is stacked against her. And she is chaotic good, even if I'm really worried she's going to pass out all the time, because she can't take a full breath.
So breathy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to the point where to me it's not sexy. I'm just worried about it.
Yeah. It's not like a Marilyn Monroe kind of thing. And so, I'm going to talk now. Yes, so I'm going to talk and say that one thing in this movie that does give me anxiety is like the opposite for you, where it's like, hi, welcome to this new job, get to work. And she's just supposed to know what to do. Like when she goes to work for Sigourney Weaver, and then even like at the end where she's got the new job, that's like, and it's your first day and you got a meeting with blah, blah, blah at 10 and boobity-doo-ba-doo at 11 and lunch with ba-da-ba-da-da. And it's just like, it's the fucking first day. Like, I think maybe that's, you know what? Maybe this movie is why I'm so bad at working and having jobs, because it terrified me into thinking that I'd get there and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So that is one thing. Like, she just shows up and she's just like, all right, well, get to work. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like fucking Fran in Black Books. Like, you know, like, just gonna type.
Those are the kind of jobs where 90% of the work that you do are just meetings. Like, that all she had to do was.
So your job.
A lot like my job, even though that's the least favorite part. My job. Yes. Yes.
I think also the MS-DOS computers freaked me out because I don't know how to use those. So those make me nervous too. Like,
yeah. Well, she told her Shift X gets your schedule, so she knew her calendar. It's all she needed to know. I'm sure there was a Rolodex on the desk. She could just start calling people and be like, "Hey, I'm Tess. What's up?"
How did anybody ever use those computers? Just words on a screen.
I used those computers.
I did too. It was just not for very long. That's what we were playing Oregon Trail on.
You and your fancy user interface having self, whatever.
Oh my God. It's just like, what? I would love to get one of those in my classroom one day and just try to make students now use it. That would be hilarious. Oh my God. That would be so much fun. Because it's really fun watching them try to just use a phone.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of the same thing, right? Or try to make them write a check. They don't know how to write a check.
Well, they do learn that actually in personal finance. Because
they do
sometimes write checks. They do.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm glad. No.
What a bring in. It's like, the next time the internet goes down, I want to roll in an MS-DOS computer and like a set of encyclopedias and be like, all right, everybody write a paper.
I mean, she really was acting like human Google. She was just consuming a lot of information and then making connections between them. So
yeah.
You know.
No, I know. It was great. It was great. Sorry, I've gone down like a rabbit hole of ways to torture my students. So sorry.
Oh, I think I'm just dying in the closet, so it's not as funny to me, but I love you a lot.
I love you too.
Thank you. That's it for this episode of I Love You But. Join us next week when we discuss Raiders of the Lost Ark, the third of our 4 blockbuster summer movies. What made you laugh? What made you cringe? What did we forget? And what should we talk about in future episodes? We want to know your thoughts. Find us on Instagram and Threads at I Love You But Pod, or email us at iloveyoubutpod@gmail.com. Listener email and comments may turn up in future bonus episodes. Be sure to rate, review, and follow I Love You But wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. I'm Heather.
I'm Ryan, and we send you lots and lots of conditional love.